The Ringing Cedars, Series 32, Anastasia, Book 1, Vladimir Megre. Unusual Girl, Part 2. I asked Anastasia to tell me in more detail about what she meant when she spoke about the change of fate and about difficulties. Listening to her, I could not have guessed how precisely what she predicted would start to come true in real life. With her story, Anastasia brought me back to the events of a year ago. Then, on the ship, you showed me everything, even your cabin, welcomed me with candies, offered me champagne, then escorted me to the steps of the ship, but I didn't immediately leave the shore. I was standing on the shore near the bushes, and I saw through the illuminated windows of the bar that the local youth were dancing and having fun. You showed me everything, but you didn't take me to the bar. I guessed why. I was dressed inappropriately, tied in a scarf, my blouse was old-fashioned, and my skirt was too long. But I could take off the scarf. My blouse was neat and clean, I straightened my skirt carefully when I went to you. I really didn't take Anastasia to the bar that evening, because she was wearing somewhat unusual clothes, under which, as it turned out, this young girl hid her peculiar beauty, which would immediately distinguish her from other people. So I told her, "Anastasia, what's the point of that bar? Would you like to dance there in your calges?" But how would you know how today's youth dance? I wasn't in the calges then. When I exchanged mushrooms for money to buy a ticket for your ship, I also bought shoes from those women, it's true, old-fashioned shoes, even though they were tight, but I cleaned them with grass. ND to dance. I would just look for a moment, and that's all. How else would I dance? Didn't you take offense at me then? I wasn't offended. If only you had gone to the bar with me. And I don't know if that's bad or good, events could have developed differently and something like that would certainly not have happened. But now I'm not sorry that what happened happened. But what happened? What terrible thing happened? After seeing me off, you didn't immediately return to your cabin. First you stopped by the captain, and you went to the bar together. As soon as you walked in, you made an impression on people. The captain was properly dressed, fit. You, all elegant, admirable in appearance, known to many on the coast, the famous Megre. The owner of an unusual caravan for people from this area. You also knew very well what impression you leave on the environment. You sat down at a small table facing 3 young girls from the village. They were all 18 years old and had just finished school. You took one of the girls by the hand, leaned towards her and started to say something in her ear. I understood. These are called compliments. Then you danced with her a few times and you were still talking. The girl's eyes lit up, and she was like in another world from a fairy tale. You took her out on deck, and like me, you showed the girl the ship, took her to your cabin, entertained her the same way you entertained me with champagne, candies. You behaved a little differently when you were with a young girl than when you were with me. You were cheerful. You were serious and sad with me, in fact, and cheerful with her. I saw everything through the lighted windows of your cabin, and perhaps I wished a little to be in that girl's place. Were you jealous, Anastasia? I don't know, it was some kind of feeling unknown to me. I remembered that evening and those young village girls who wanted to look older and more modern. In the morning, the captain of the ship and I once again laughed at their outburst of the night. I then realized in the cabin that the girl was in such a state and that she was ready for anything. But I had no idea of mastering it. I told Anastasia about it, to which she replied. You still won her heart. You went down on the deck, it was raining lightly, and you threw your coat over the girl's shoulder, then led him back to the bar. So, did you, Anastasia, stand in the bushes in the rain the whole time? It's nothing. The rain was nice, mild. She just wouldn't let me watch. And I didn't want to wet my skirt and scarf. It's Mom's. That's what I got from my mom. But I was very lucky. I found a small cellophane bundle on the shore. I took them off, put them in a bundle and put them under my blouse. Anastasia, if you hadn't gone home and it hadn't been raining, would you have returned to the ship? I couldn't. Well, you accompanied me, and you also had other obligations. But everything was finished. When the evening was coming to an end and the ship was about to depart, you held the ship at the request of the girls, and most importantly, at the request of the girl who was with you. Everything was then in your power. And having included their hearts, you too were intoxicated with that power. The local youth were grateful to the girls, and they also felt special because of the authorities who liked them through you. They completely forgot about those young people who were in the same bar and with whom they were still friends at school. The captain and you escorted them to the ship's steps. You headed to your cabin. The captain climbed onto the bridge, and the ship began to slowly, very slowly leave the shore. The girl you danced with was standing on the shore with her friends, the local youth who were seeing off the boat. Her heart was pounding so hard that it wanted to escape from her chest and fly away. Her thoughts and feelings were mixed. In front of her, a white ship was forever moving away from the shore, illuminated by a multitude of lights, which abundantly provided music that spread over the water and the shore in the night. On the departing ship, you were the one who spoke so many beautiful words to her that she hadn't heard before, beguiling and seductive. And all that went away from her slowly and forever. So then she dared in front of everyone. The girl squeezed her tiny fingers into fists and cried out in despair, "I love you, Vladimir." Well, one more time and one more time. Did you hear those shouts? Yes, I answered. It was impossible not to hear them, even people from your crew heard them. Some of them went down on deck and laughed at the girl. I didn't want them to laugh at the girl. And then they, as if they had become aware of something, stopped laughing. But you didn't go down on deck, and the ship continued to slowly move away. She thought you couldn't hear her and persistently continued to shout, "I love you, Vladimir." And then her friends came to her aid, and they shouted together. I wanted to know what kind of feeling it is, love, because of which a person loses control, and maybe I wanted to help that girl. So I exclaimed along with them, "I love you, Vladimir." At that moment, I almost forgot that I can't pronounce words so easily. Feelings, understanding, and the truth of natural information must be hidden behind them. I now know how strong that feeling is. He is not so much subject to reason. That village girl became weak and drank alcohol. I barely helped her. She is now married and is overwhelmed with daily obligations. And I still had to add hers to my love. The event with the girl disturbed me a little. Anastasia's story brought that evening back to life beautifully and in detail in my memory, and everything really happened the way she said. That was real. Anastasia's declaration of love did not leave any impression on me at the time. When I understood how she lives, got acquainted with her view of the world, she began to seem unreal to me. Consciousness, accustomed to other standards of assessment, did not accept it as an existing reality. Although at the beginning of our meeting I was attracted to her, now she did not arouse in me the previous feelings. I asked, "So, you think that these new feelings appeared in you by chance?" "They are desirable, essential," answered Anastasia. "Moreover, they are pleasant, but I did not want you to love me in such a way. I realize that after you get to know me a little better, my world, you won't be able to accept me as an ordinary person, but that you will be afraid of me sometimes. And that's what happened. It's my own fault. I made a lot of mistakes. I was upset about something the whole time. I was in a hurry and didn't manage to explain. Wasn't everything somehow stupid in me? Isn't it? Should I change?" Saying these words, she barely smiled wistfully.